Hello gamers, and welcome back to another episode of Solo Spelunking. And today is the day where I will start my Machine Gods of the Noxian Expanse campaign. It is a post-apocalyptic feudal role-playing game by Black Oath Entertainment, written by Alex T. And I did put up a review of this game on my channel as well, so you can check this out. And if you want to get this game, you can get it from the Black Oath Entertainment website, or you can get it as a print copy on Amazon as well. This is where I got it. Alright, so I'm all set up here. I got my post-apocalyptic coffee, and as you can see, I also made a little post-apocalyptic dice tower inlay here, because I'm going to use my dice tower again for this campaign. And I got my map set up that I'm going to explore and my character. So before we start, for those of you who haven't seen my review video, let me give you a quick glimpse of my character here. So I am Victor Kane. I am a young and minor noble from a not very influential and not very wealthy noble house. So we practically don't have much more much more than our name, and little wealth, little influence, and I got fairly average stats, slightly above average dexterity and presence. And I didn't tell you about my feats actually last time. So I'm a precision warrior, which means I crit on a 19 plus. I'm a silver-tongued scoundrel, which means I get advantage on presence checks to negotiate, bluff, fast talk, etc. And this is a reskin from the natural born leader feat, which basically does the same thing, but for leading people and groups and stuff. But since I'm a loner and I like the scoundrel type, you know me, I slightly reskinned this. And the third feat is nimble. I have advantage on acrobatic tasks. And I get 3 feats because I picked 2 drawbacks. So you can see here I have a missing eye. I'm wearing an eye patch, so I get disadvantage on perception checks. And I'm arrogant, which means, yeah, I think of myself as slightly superior to everybody else. Maybe run headfirst into danger because, like I said, I'm arrogant. So I am proficient with my rapier and my padded leather armor that I am wearing, and I'm using a rapier, the weapon of a noble, which is a finesse weapon, meaning I can also use my dexterity modifier to wield it. I'm level 1. This is my gear, and I'm from the luminous Vale of Eternus, and I determined this randomly by the tables in this book, or with the tables in this book. So I figured Eternus, since I don't have much more background of the setting. I know there's a setting expansion, but I don't have that yet. I just want to try out the base game first. So I'm just saying that Eternus is a city, and south of Eternus is the luminous Vale, and north of Eternus is the unexplored, harsh, and dangerous northern wasteland of Eternus. And I will have to explore this wasteland because my motivation is I have to track down the tech cultists who have kidnapped my noble house's heir, which is my older brother. Okay, so that is the setup for the adventure, and I made some notes here regarding our noble house. So I'm a minor noble from the house of Kane. We have limited influence and we are poor. My mother is Teresa Kane. My father is Marek Kane. My sister is Sandra Kane. And my lost older brother is Theodore Kane. And we live in the city-state of Eternus, and the entire city-state, the area that the machine god that rules our city influences, contains 13,000 people, so pretty large, a bustling metropolis, but around 1,800 people live in the city center. And Yeah, we are ruled by a machine god, and our machine god is the mighty Gilzot, and he is served by a sect of monks. The main industry of our city estate is farming, of course, in the Luminous Vale, and crafts, and also religion. So we are also a site for pilgrims that come to the Luminous Vale to pray and pay respect to the mighty Gilzot. Our conflict, and I determined all this with the settlement generator in this book, is that aggressive slavers and raiders are attacking the outlying districts and farms, and they're coming from the northern wasteland, and they have also taken my older brother. He was taken while he was visiting the northern outlying farms of Eternus. So there's some smaller outlying farmsteads as well. So this is the premise of our story, of our adventure, and this is where we start. So we start our adventure in our family home, in our mansion, the house, the Kane residence, small little residence, like I said, minor noble house. And my mother, what was her name again? My mother, Teresa. Yeah, my mother, Teresa, she is devastated because she lost her oldest son, my older brother. At least she thinks so. So she is basically, since he got lost, she is devastated, doesn't come out of her room much, doesn't talk a lot. And of course, this troubles me, and I want to see that she is all right. So I have packed up my things, and I'm going to talk to my father, who's also devastated, but he has to keep a firm facade, if you will. So I'm going to talk to him, and I tell him, Father, I am determined. I can't see Mother like this any day longer. I will head out in the into the northern wasteland, and if my brother is still alive, and his name was Theodore, yeah, so if Theodore is still alive, I will find him and I will retrieve him. And my father says, please, Victor, don't. I mean, the odds of finding him alive are slim, and the northern wastelands are unexplored and dangerous. I can't bear losing you too. Father, you have raised and trained me to become or to be independent and strong. You will not lose me. I am prepared to face any danger. There is nothing I fear in the northern wastelands. You are brave, but sometimes I feel that your bravery, or for lack of a better word, your arrogance, is getting in the way of making rational decisions. There is nothing irrational about trying to find your brother, Father. If you're so worried, why don't you come with me? Oh no, I can't leave Mother here. And I have to also care for Sandra. She's even younger than you, and she needs both her parents. Well, then it is settled, Father. I'm going to pack up my things, and I will leave by dawn tomorrow. Well, if you must. Yes, I must. Okay, so I have a nice little family dinner with my family, and I tell them, well, don't worry, you've trained me well, and you've sent me to the best schools we could afford. I'm an accomplished swordsman and a fearless explorer. I will get Theodore back. Well, may the mighty Gilzot protect you on your dangerous quest. Yeah, he probably will. So we spent the night, and I get a good rest in, and early in the morning I pack up my things, and then I head towards the city center to the north gate of Eternus, and in front of the north gate there's this dystopian, barren, rocky, unhospitable wasteland stretching out as far as the eye can see, the northern wasteland of Eternus. So I make my way through the northern gate and head across the smaller farmsteads. And this little pawn will represent my character. And I've already determined, so I'm going to use the obviously exploration rules in this book. And for this game, I'm trying to use only the resources that are in this book, because actually it is a complete package. And there's an outdoor exploration game loop. So it almost plays a little like a board game, meaning you got 2 exploration turns per day, and you need 1 exploration turn to move 1 square, or you can use an exploration turn to forage or hunt to acquire rations, but I still have rations. And exploring or interacting with the squares feature also takes 1 exploration turn. And when you start, you're supposed to determine the points of interest. You can always see the points of interest, but not the terrain, strangely. You roll that when you enter the square, and the weather, but you can see the rounding points of interest in adjacent squares. And adjacent means only those 4 squares. So in my case, 3. So not diagonal adjacent. And so as far as I read it, there's no diagonal movement. So it's only like a square-based up, down, left, right movement, but that's fine. And so I determined to the west there is an impassable feature. So this is the point of interest table. So I got an impassable feature, large structure, canyon, etc. So I figured there's this deep canyon to the west, which is impassable because it is deep, it is wide. Let's call it the gorge. Let's add this to the map. It is the gorge. And it is impassable, so I can't go there. Up to the north, I didn't see anything of interest, or I can't see anything of interest. And to the east, I rolled up a distinctive landmark, and there's a landmark table here to generate one. And the landmark table is object and descriptor. And I got a forgotten idol. So see, I tried a little drawing here. So some sort of statue, forgotten statue, maybe weathered. So I see some sort of structure in the distance to the east. It is still early because I just left, and up north I can't see anything of interest. And I do have 2 exploration turns this day. So I packed my things. I got a backpack. I got the usual travel gear like bedroll, a little tent, and I got rations. A travel cloak, a hooded travel cloak to protect me from the weather. So I decide I will move to the east. So I make my way to the east. And when you enter a square, you must determine its weather by rolling on the Wasteland weather table, and its terrain by rolling on the Wasteland terrain table. Since the terrain table is here, let's do terrain first. And I'm using my post-apocalyptic purple D20. And it is a 15. And a 15 is... so the previous square is city. It's not here, so I will just... Okay, I gotta say something. So I say the previous terrain was plains. So these are plains because they are also those farmlands, and the terrain depends on the previous terrain. So the previous terrain was plains, and now I got a 15. So that is hills. So as I make my way, and I'm drawing little hills here, as I make my way to the east, the landscape gets more rugged and hilly, and yeah, and it starts to become some sort of hilly terrain. So let's check the weather. And the weather is pretty unpredictable because of the AI weather control systems that have gone havoc. 11. That is a blizzard. A fierce blizzard reduces visibility and makes travel extremely challenging. Okay, visibility is reduced to 5 feet. A hard con check every hour to avoid becoming fatigued. Okay, so first exploration turn, I enter this square to the east. So there's this hilly terrain, and suddenly the wind picks up, and an ice cold breeze almost cuts my skin as suddenly out of nowhere there's this blizzard appearing and reducing visibility. Thank God I got my travel cloak, so I pull up my hood deeply into my face, but I still got to do a hard constitution check, and that is a DC 16, a target number in this case, 16. And for reasons I've explained in my review, I'm not going to use the dynamic target numbers. I'm only using the static target numbers. And Constitution is 16, and I got an 11, so no modifier. So this is pretty dangerous or hard. Let's see. 15. Barely made it. Okay, so 15. Okay, so fatigued, but only a little bit fatigued. So let's I think starvation and fatigue here. Characters must consume similar fatigued. So what is the fatigued condition? It's probably here, conditions. Fatigued. Okay. The character has disadvantage on all intelligence, willpower, and presence checks, and resolution sleep for at least 6 hours. Okay, but I do have an exploration turn left, that I haven't used yet, and I want to check out this idol, so I want to interact with this feature, which takes also an exploration turn. So exploring or interacting with the squares feature takes 1 exploration turn, and the squares feature. Oh wait, no! I made some another mistake here. So as soon I got a roll on the exploration event table as well. So not only terrain and weather, but also before I can interact and proceed as usual, I got a roll on the exploration event table. So let's see what that has in store for me, and then we can interact. Exploration event table. 11. You come across some sort of hazard or obstacle. Roll on the hazard table with a d8. 3. Geyser. You must pass a hard dex check or be scalded, suffering d8 points of damage. Okay, so what I interpreted that as like this. So as I said, the hillside becomes the terrain becomes more hilly, and remember, this is like we are in the ruins of a once advanced civilization. So let's just say underneath the surface there's some heating or steam lines or pipes from some, I don't know, structure underneath the earth, some exhaust pipes that have hidden vents nestled within this hillside terrain. And as I pass one of these hidden vents that I don't see because of the blizzard, also because I can barely see the hand in front of my face, suddenly there's this hot steam and hot water, boiling water and steam shouting out of this coolant vent, and I gotta make a hard, I think it was hard dexterity check. Yes, but I am nimble, so I figure I can use my nimble feat, which means I get advantage on acrobatic tasks. And my acrobatic task is basically to jump out of the way. So I'm using another d20 here, the brown one. And hard is 16. I got +1 and I get advantage. And if I fail, I already suffer 1d8 points of damage. No, 10 and 11 +1 is 12. So even with my nimble ability, I'm not nimble enough, obviously. Let me check out. This is a little bent here because of the ink. So I got to bend this a little the other way, like so. Okay. Yeah, so I jumped to the side, but a little bit too late. As this hot boiling water and steam is burning me. Let's roll the d8. Oh, and of course it starts like it usually does. Maximum damage, 8 points of damage. Okay, but actually the Noxian Expanse healing rules are not that unforgiving. I think when you rest you recover d8 hit points. I'm going to double check. All right, so HP, I got 22 minus 8, so that is 14. Okay, so and I'm also fatigued. Damn it. Okay, so I gotta tread more carefully now. And now I can interact with the feature. So even though I am fatigued, but that also means I get disadvantage also on intelligence, will, and presence check. So I can't really concentrate. So let's just say I make my way towards the Forgotten Idol, this strange statue-like structure, but as I reach it, I am hurting and exhausted that I decide to make camp. And yeah, I get out my tent, my bedroll, and try to make myself as comfortable as I can. So I'm trying to look for a secluded spot where I'm not facing the full brunt of the ice cold blizzard, and I make my camp there and rest. So let me double check. I think it was a here, death and healing. After a meal and a full night's rest, characters regain lost health equal to d8 plus their con modifier. Resting at a safe haven for 3 or more days restores all lost health. So I wouldn't call this a safe haven by any means. And I'm also not sure if you're supposed to roll for random encounters at night. It doesn't say. So it just says at the end of the day you must set up camp to rest. This means consuming your daily ration to avoid becoming starved and resting a minimum of 6 hours to avoid becoming fatigued. You can also choose to stay at a camp for longer periods of time to heal your wounds. Camping does not take any exploration turns. A bedroll or tent is required to rest properly. Sleeping without either reduces the number of exploration turns by 1. Okay, but thankfully I got those. So it doesn't say anything here. I will roll for random encounters, but not in a blizzard, because I figured in a blizzard, whatever creatures might be roaming through the wasteland, they're also trying to find shelter. I mean, unless they're very well protected from the cold, they will probably not go out. So yeah, I make camp. I consume a ration. I got 10 rations. 10 rations, yes. So I'm just making a little log here. Rations 10, and now I got 9 rations. Okay, so it is the next day. And even though I'm not entering a new square, I will make another weather roll, because even the strongest blizzard gotta stop sometime. So let's at the start of the day, let's see what the weather is. 12. Oh, now it's hail. Okay. Hailstones fall from the sky, potentially causing damage to anyone caught outside. Creatures in the open take 1 damage per turn. And I'm reading this now as exploration turns. Okay, so first let's make the healing roll. D8 and oh, 2. Okay, so lost 8, regained 2. So I'm at 16. And now I'm using my first exploration turn. I'm not fatigued anymore. I slept and there's no more blizzard. But there are these large hail balls of ice coming from the sky. So I'm reducing my HP by 1 for my first exploration turn. So there's this constant, there are those constant hailstones that bruise me a little. It really gets on my nerves, and I try to find shelter. And now I interact with the forgotten idol to see what that is. Okay. There also, let's see here, mapping ruins, exploring ruins, but this is sort of like a dungeon thing. Let's just see maybe. If there's any time, I'm looking for any form of inspirational oracle here, theme. So I'm just going to roll a couple of themes here as well. So it's a forgotten idol. So I'm checking it out. I'm interacting with it. 1 exploration turn. I still got 1 left. Let's see. 89, a conspiracy. Okay. And 86, attention. Okay. So something brings my attention to some form of conspiracy. Maybe that happened in the past. So yeah, I'm checking out this idol, and let's see. There is a couple of meters away from the idol. I find a dead body. Of maybe some form of monk or cultist. Maybe this is one of those tech cultists that have kidnapped my brother. I don't know. So it catches my interest, the body. So I investigate it, and I find some kind of journal on the body, and this journal, yeah, it details some strange, weird scheme, almost delusional in nature. At least it reads like this. And this guy, he laid out some delusional scheme where he fantasizes about taking control of what's his name? The mighty Gilzot, the machine god of Eternus. Okay. So you never know what this might be good for. So I take the book and I see if there's anything else valuable on the body. 1, 2, 3 on a D10. Oh yes, there is. Okay. So I find something on the body, and there's a random table for loot here as well. Here's spoils while scavenging. But let's say, because it's just let's say -2 to the roll. -2. Okay, 4 minus 2 is 2. Well, that is at least D20 coins. 17. Oh, not bad. So I do find 17 coins as well on the dead body. Which I take. So I'm at 67 coins. Still got one exploration turn left. But since I'm also in a new square, I gotta determine the points of interest, because you can always see those, and this doesn't take any time. It is just something that happens while you're exploring. So let's roll on the points of interest table. Here, point of interest table. 7, that is an impassable feature to the north, so I'm going north and east. So again, an impassable feature. So let's just, I like this idea of these large canyons going across, or going, so another, what is it, crevice, is that the name? Just put canyon. So an impassable feature, those are hills. And what is to the east? 17. Oh, an ancient ruin. It might be worth exploring. Oh yeah, it definitely is. Let's see, the ruin, that is landmark. Ruin, mapping ruins. Okay, so let's see. Let's roll a theme here to maybe get an impression how this rune looks. 90. 90. 90, that is descriptor 90. Okay, inverted. Okay, inverted. An inverted 26 object. Memorial, an inverted memorial. Okay, so an inverted memorial means it is the opposite of a memorial. It is a ritual site. It is a temple. So for a rune, I just make this little entrance here. And let's just say, I don't know this yet, but it is a dark temple, because it's an inverted memorial. Okay, so so I'm looking around. I still got one exploration turn, because I used one turn to interact with this idol. I can't make out any more interesting things. And and I see to the north that also this canyon, there's this large crevice running through the landscape. So there's no way that I can see across, but this site looks interesting. There's some structure to the east. So I will move to the east. So, and that is my second exploration turn, because I used my first exploration turn to interact with this idol here, and my second to move a square. So you got it. This is like a little larger area, and the weather, hail. So I'm making not that much progress. So it's already getting dark outside. And now I gotta roll the terrain and the weather and an encounter. Okay, so terrain first. We are coming from a hill terrain. 3. So that is hills again, I think. I think 1 to 10 is the same terrain here. Yes, so hills and again hills. So the hills, they continue. Now the weather again. So this weather is really unpredictable. 13. So we came out of a hailstorm and into hot and humid. Okay, the air is hot and sticky, making physical activity exhausting. Average con check to avoid becoming fatigued. So average is 14, con check 9. So again, but it's already getting dark anyways. That was my second exploration turn. So yeah, the AI controlling the old ancient climate systems, they really go havoc. So we had this hailstorm, and now it is hot and dry and humid. So as I continue towards the east, it gets hotter with every step, and I yeah, take off my hood from my cloak, and but still it is sticky. I gotta take a big zip out of my water skin, and yeah, and I'm actually ready to make camp again. I will not reach the temple by tonight, I guess, because it's already getting dark. Oh shit, coffee on the map, but it gives it a little ancient touch. But I still have to roll an encounter as well, because I rolled for the weather, and now I got to roll for an encounter. Or a hazard. No, an exploration event. That's it. Exploration event. 15. You run into some sort of creature. Roll on the encounter outdoors table. Okay, this is fitting because there's this dark temple. 17. A void progenitor. Okay, let's look up what that is. There's a creature section in here too. A void. It doesn't sound good. Let me tell you that. It doesn't sound good. Void progenitor. Void progenitor. Oh, a massive mechanical creature. Birthing technological horrors. Damn it. Okay. So, it is slow and does not attack very, very difficult, but it has void tendrils as a standard attack and special attack spawn construct. The progenitor spawns a steel spider. Only 2 steel spiders can be created at once. And its support action is it regains D4 health. And there's actually a table here that tells you how the enemies act in combat. Okay. So yeah, let's role play this. So I'm making my way into the square, into this. I go further into this hilly area. I see the structure in the distance, and I decide, well, maybe I can make camp there in the maybe entry hallway of this structure. Maybe it is. I find some cooling there. Let's head over there. Okay, so it is a massive creature. So as I make my way towards the temple, I hear something. A metallic screech, basically, as if something with metallic legs that could use some oil is moving towards me, coming closer. So I decide, I try to find some sort of hideout, something to hide behind. And this is what I do, and I do not make a move, hopefully avoiding detection. Okay, so let's see. This void progenitor, its perception is easy, which means I gotta succeed. Remember, this is player facing at an easy target number, and easy is 10. Yeah, target number 10. And where is my little target number thingy? Here. So easy And since this is the classic stealth, I'm using dexterity, but this does not count as nimble. So it's +1 and I need a 10. Easy as 10. 19. Oh, that's great. Whew, lucky me. Okay, so this void progenitor comes into view. So I see this. I don't know what it is. If it is a massive mechanical creature, what kind of creature it is. But let's just say void tendrils. Okay, so it is. Yeah, it is basically like a massive round blobby-like sphere with metallic legs around it, and it moves, and on top of it there are these circulating eyes that are mounted on some sort of circulating thing, and the spiders, should it spawn them, they are spawned, so they come out from the bottom and are spawned directly onto the ground. It basically spews them out. Okay, but luckily it hasn't detected me yet, or hasn't detected me. So I think I hold totally still, don't make a move, and I managed to avoid this void progenitor. Whew, that was close. So I wait until it is out of view and until this screeching and creaking noise, until I can't hear it anymore. And then when I figure it is safe, I move out and head towards this dark temple structure. And yeah, make my way inside into the entry hall. And this is where I will make camp. And while I make camp, I gotta consume another ration. 8. And no, the hail thing was there, and I moved the explorer. Okay. I gotta determine the size of this structure here, because there's also a system for exploring random ruins, and this uses a usage die mechanic that you know from the Black Hack, and depending on the structure size. But I say it's not huge or labyrinthian, so I'm only rolling a d8. So it can be small, medium, or large. 4. It is a medium UD8 structure. Okay, so let me make some notes here in my little journal. So moved to the east, avoided void progenitor, and discovered Dark Temple ruin, even though I don't know yet that it's a dark temple. I'm just seeing this symmetrical structure, and I put down UD8 for the size. Okay, basically I just need the size. And I make camp. And I get to regenerate D8. No, wait, now I'm in this dark temple. Let's go by the standard, and I'm using the enemy die now. A 1 in 6 chance for a random encounter wandering monster. 1 in 6 chance. 4, no. Okay, so I make camp, and now I get to regenerate. 8, ooh, lucky me. Okay, so now I'm back to full health. Back to 22. And now this is the next day, and now we basically zoom in, because now we are moving within or in this dungeon, and there's a different procedure. Exploring ruins and mapping ruins. Okay, So when entering for the first time, you must find out its size. We already did that. And conditions. Okay. The conditions. The ruin, special ruin condition. Let's see. D10. What is so special about these ruins? 5. Ooh. Toxic atmosphere. The air is not fully breathable here. Each time you end a fight, you suffer D4 damage due to inhaling too many toxins. And as I'm reading this, this is a permanent condition that stays in effect as long as I'm exploring these ruins. So yeah, so as I made camp the next morning when I awake, even though I feel rested, I also feel a little dizzy, and I got this light cough. Maybe I didn't notice it when I entered, but now, damn, this place needs some ventilation. Okay, let me put down the condition here. Condition, toxic air, D4 damage after combat. Okay. Oh, damn. I shouldn't linger here too long, but now that I'm here, I gotta see what is going on here. So I'm going to light a torch. I do have torches with me. 10 torches. Yes. So I'm going to light a torch. And now I got 9 torches left. And look around with my torch. So I got my torch in one hand, my rapier in the other. So I draw my rapier, getting ready. Okay. So when entering a room for the first time, this is the starting one. So whenever you enter a room, I roll on the room contents table and room detail table and determine the number of exits. And whenever I enter a new area, be it a room or corridor, roll a d10. 1 to 3, there's an encounter. And every time you enter a new room, you roll the UD, the usage die. Okay, so I'm in the first room now, so I'm going to zoom in. This feels a little bit like, yeah, not like dragon, but like my very quick dungeon generator. So I'm going just using it little abstract. So this is the entry hall. The entry hall, and I have to determine the number of exits. And because it's the entry hall, I say there are only D2 exits instead of D4. D2 exits. Oh, there's only one exit. So this entry hall only has one exit. And so this is the first room. This is empty. So when I enter a new area, whether it be a corridor or a room, I got to roll for an encounter. And whenever I enter a new room, I got to roll the UD. So not corridor, only room. So yeah, I look around and I see there's only this one basically steel polished hallway leading not to the north but also down, because the structure, that the thing that I've seen above ground, only has the size of this entry hall. So the structure, this leads underground. Okay, so I follow this little stairway that leads underground, and it leads me for a corridor. Okay, so a corridor, I just make this line here. And now I got to roll, and 1, 2, 3. there's a rune encounter. 1, 2, 3, rune encounter. No, lucky 4. Okay, so no encounter, but if there's no encounter and you've entered a room, roll on the event table. Okay, but I have not entered a room, so no encounter. I'm lucky. So I'm heading to the another area. So I make my way, and now I enter a new area, and now I gotta see again what it is. Layout table. That is a 9. That is a room. And you should actually roll 2d6 for the squares of the room size, but I'm not going to use this. I'm just going to abstract it. So with those little, like a node type system. So this is room. And whenever you enter a room, you roll on the room contents and details table, but also whenever you enter a new area, be it a room or corridor, you got to roll for an event. So I carefully make my way through the corridor, and the corridor widens into a room, and I got to see if there's an encounter. No. Now I enter a room. Every time you enter a new room, you must make the UD check. I enter this room, I make the UD check, and on a 1 or 2 it decreases to a D6. No. And now I gotta roll for room content and details. Content 2, it is empty, but details, verb and theme. Okay, verb 78, that is inflame. 25, inflame knowledge. Okay, so this is, I just put down inflame knowledge, and it's empty, and I have to check for exits. And I'm using 1d3 exits because this is already, so 1, 2, 3 exits. Okay, so there are 3 exits leading out of this room. And inflame knowledge, for me, this is actually a pretty nasty room, sort of like a sacrifice or ritual room. So there's a strange rune or glyph on the ground, but it features small nozzles, and there's a computer console. Remember, there's ancient text scattered throughout, some sort of computer console or display, and OC, what this room was. So, like I said, this is like a dark temple, and the adepts or cultists of whatever cult, or the initiates, they had to stand in this glyph, and they had to pass a test that tests their knowledge of their religion they want to become a part of, and their devotion. And if they didn't pass, superheated gas would shoot out of those nozzles in the ground and burn them basically alive as punishment for failing this test. That's the purpose of this room, but I don't know this yet, so I just see that the room is basically empty, so there's nothing really of value, but there's a strange ruin on the ground, or glyph, and I can see in the metal floor, it's a metal floor, I can see these nozzles, and there's this console, but let me see if it's still functional. So let's say it is a 30% chance it's still functional. 4, no it's not. So there's a console, a strange, I don't know, computer console. I've seen such things before, but I don't really know how to interact with them. but there's no light, no noise, no nothing. And there are 3 exits leading out of this room. All right, and I look at my my clock here. Time's up. I'm already at 55 minutes almost. So this is where I end this for the first season, the start of this adventure. Yeah, so it will take me a while to get used to the procedures. I think the speed will increase once I get more familiar with the procedures. So far I'm having fun. I actually like this sort of board gamey fog of war, empty map, you gotta explore it vibe. And yeah, and let's see what clues we can maybe gather in this dark temple here. So we will find out next time. And as always, I thank you for watching. Oh yeah, and of course, please do like, subscribe, comment, and do all this YouTube stuff, and help me to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of October. So spread the word about this wonderful solo gaming channel. Highly entertaining, low production value, the ugly truth of solo gaming. So yeah, thanks. So as always, stay safe and stay healthy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.